Welcome, bent riders around the world. My name is Gary Solomon, and you're watching the Laid Back Bike Report. I'm awful glad to have you guys with us today. Very special show, kind of a throwback to the live shows we used to always do. So might be a little bit more frantic, but we'll do our best to bring you all the great stuff I'm about to tell you about. We're going to kick it off with kind of a brief news report. Honza's with us. It's nothing formal, but we have a couple items to bring you up to date about. The main part of today's show is our Spezi 2023 walkthrough. We have a special 3D platform we're going to use to virtually walk through the show, and we're going to offer our thoughts of myself and our guest panel, which I will introduce to you shortly, on the things that we saw there that were of particular interest. We hope you will like that too. We're going to have a little intermission in that walkthrough and show you a piece that Denny did with Sandy Earl. Sandy, as you may recall, is a recumbent racer, ultra racer, who is the only entry this year in the Race Across America representing recumbents. So we're very excited to have talked to her, and she'll give you the lowdown on her plans and her hopes for RAAM coming up in just a couple of weeks. Then we'll finish up with the rest of our walkthrough, and that will be the show. So let's start out with the crew we have with us today. We got a bunch of people that are all notable in their own rights, and many of them attended Spezi along with Trey and I. So first of all, helping out on the directing, as always, we have Larry Seidman. Hiya, Larry. And Larry does the directing. He doesn't do the audio. Oh, there we go. Good.
Hi, Gary.
Glad to have you with us. And Trey is with us. Of course, he and his wife, Lisa, joined my wife and I at Spezi, and I'm sure he's going to have a few things to say about what he saw. Thanks for everything, Trey. Glad you're here.
Glad to be here. Howdy, folks.
And a key player at Spezi, of course, is Honza Galla. Key player in so many things, and a very busy guy. We're so glad that he's able to join us today. Honza, thanks.
Hi, great to be here. Thank you.
All right, and Honza hosted us too in the Czech Republic, something we're going to talk about later on, but thanks to him for that as well. Tim Segard is a surprise guest who we were happy to see at Spezi. Made just a little drop in, like you might drop in at the supermarket. He and his wife dropped in at Spezi in Germany. How was that, Tim? Good time?
Yeah, it was awesome. It's great to see all the new stuff, and even though we weren't able to spend weeks there, it was good to see all the new stuff at the show.
All right, and Tim's going to give us his thoughts on some of the things he saw. Denny Voorhees is with us, as I said, and he did that really interesting interview with Sandy. So we will talk to him a little bit later. Thanks, Denny. Great to have you back, and you're back home in Pennsylvania, I understand.
I am. We're back here, and left my headset in Florida. So
I wish I had a nickel for every time I heard that one. All right, good. And lastly, apparently still on the road, I think at a rest stop, we are so glad to have our pal, Pat Franz, who was at Spezi. Pat, thanks for joining us.
Hey, it's fun. A little break from driving.
Yeah. All right. Well, Pat is on the road. Since he retired, he has been all over the place, and we'll try to catch up with him on that. So, all right, guys, let's first of all let you know that the live chat is active, running. As you're watching the show today, please avail yourself of that. If you have questions about what we saw or what we're talking about at Spezi or anything about the sports report, please jump on the live chat. You can talk amongst yourselves as well, even if you don't have questions for us. And yeah, drop in there. Let us know where you are watching from. We always like to see that as well. And if you're interested in how you might support the Laid Back Bike Report and everything that you do, everything that we do, you can like us on Facebook. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, and you might want to click that little white eye up there. It'll take you to the Laid Back Bike Report website, where you can learn lots more about us, including how to become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1 a month. We also have, of course, amazing sponsors of this webcast that keep it going all year long. Let me tell you about them. First of all, we have TerraCycle, makers of exquisite recumbent parts and accessories for your bent. Are your idlers idle? Upgrade to TerraCycle's lightweight and durable idlers for a smoother ride and fewer puns. And Trailside Trikes, a fine recumbent trike shop on the Withlacoochee Trail in Florida and Knoxville, Tennessee. And TerraTrike Green Speed, the best in leisure, performance, adventure, touring, electric, and portability. Wherever your adventure leads, TerraTrike will take you there. And Green Speed, where Ian Sims designs bring performance through science and engineering. And Laid Back Cycles, the top USA dealer for TerraTrike and the premier source for Catrike, Ice, and Green Speed. We give you the freedom to ride. And Avenue Trikes. With the gearing you need and the comfort you want, it's time to enjoy riding again. They're in stock, ready to ship, and only $19.95. Dealer inquiries are welcome. And Azub. The company is a 3-time winner of the Trike of the Year award and has brought several unique technological solutions to the world of recumbent bikes, including the titanium front suspension on the Tie-Fly trike. Combined with the tuned rear suspension, it provides its owner with absolute comfort throughout the ride. And Recumbent PDX. With a 150 trike inventory, Recumbent PDX is the West Coast's only cat trike megastore. We have over 20 trikes on our showroom floor, just waiting for you to test ride through our beautiful Portland neighborhood. Call or email to schedule your test ride today. And Eco Cycles, leaders in electric assist and customer support with a line of specialized conversion kits to retrofit just about any bent model out there. Check them out at cycles.eco right now. Okay, guys, let's bring Honza up if we could, Larry, real quickly. And Honza, a couple of quick news items we cannot let go without mentioning. First of all, the acquisition of Bent Rider from Brian Ball to Kurt Reynolds. And this is big news, something that I guess has been in the making a little while. And Kurt, if you jump on Bent Rider now, you'll notice some changes or some updates with the software, which is, has very much been needed. So I don't know, did you know anything about this, Honza, or?
No, not at all. I was interested a year ago or something like that, but since then Brian was quiet, and so it's up to some other person. And you told me the news just about 2 hours ago or so. So
okay.
From my side, it's great to have the forum working. Of course, I don't know about any like blog posts or what Brian did as a journalist, let's say. That would be nice as well. Always the competition is good for the consumer. I would be kind of biased to tell anything about myself and recumbent news, but whatever. Sounds good for sure.
Yeah. And I don't know a whole lot more than what I've just said. And that's all I know that I've told you. I have been in touch with Kurt, and he tells me he would be interested in coming on the show and kind of sharing what his thoughts are and plans for everyone. So we will hopefully do that maybe next month or so. and we'll share that with you as soon as we can. The other news, and Honza, you had posted this on recumbent.news, is the new Cat Trike Max. And I think, Trey, yeah, we got a picture of it there. Yeah, do you have a few comments on that, Honza?
Well, it's a good-looking trike for heavier riders, or let's say tiny bit bigger riders. It's basically, it does not have the weight limit as the Green Speed Magnum. Let's say it's just below that, I think, and so it really is something what some of the customers need. So I think it's good addition to the Catrike lineup, let's say. So yeah,
good. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. It is a heftier trike. It seems like something that you might easily find in like a TerraTrike kind of lineup as well, to me. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Maybe at some point we'll have someone do a review of it. I'm sure that would be of interest. So, all right, great. So at this point, let's move along to our main segment here, and let me tell you what we have in mind here. So we have a group of panelists that I have introduced you. We also have Jascha Buettler from Germany, who is having some computer difficulties. So hopefully he'll be able to pop in here and join us as well. But Honza and Pat and Tim and Trey will be offering their thoughts on what we saw at Spezi. And how we're going to do this is something that's quite unique and interesting. Hopefully it'll work out well for us. And I have a platform that well, Honza actually talked about this again on Recumbent News. And it's called Matterport 3D. And there was a company that worked with Wolf & Wolf at Spezi to take, I think, the pictures and set this all up. Franz messaged me today to ask me to acknowledge and thank these guys. The company name is Bitblade. And I think also there's a company involved called Circotech. And so they supported Spezi with this 3D model that we're about to present. And they did it for free. I think they usually charge for this stuff, but they did it for free for the guys at Spezi, which they are very appreciative of. And they wanted me to acknowledge these guys: Oliver Bagger, Patrick Herzog, Luis Kaiser, and Maurice Sobiera, who helped with this platform and getting it working. And we are so glad to be able to use that today. We thank them as well. We also wanted to thank the Spezi sponsors who made it possible for Laid Back Bike Report to be there. Trey's going to show a few slides of our experience at Spezi here just briefly while I tell you who the sponsors of our Spezi trip were. We had Radical Design helped us out, Kyra and Bert, thank you. Stefan from Katanga in the Czech Republic. Stefan, thank you. Paul and Daniel from HP Velotechnik, and we certainly don't want to leave out Heiko, who had purchased a couple of beers for me while I was there. Tim Segard, who is with us today from Bent Revolution, kindly helped us out. Larry Hobbs, always a great supporter of ours from Jersey Bents. And Kaz and Quentin, the guys now running TerraCycle. Thank you, boys. Andrew at Trailside Trikes. And Dave at Connecticut Yankee Peddler. They were all very instrumental in making sure that Trey and I were able to get there and provide the coverage that we did. And we'll talk more about what other coverage we will have for you soon. So with that, I think we're going to give this a shot. So I am going to share. This is the 3D platform, and you see along the left side of your screen all of our panelists. And guys, we're going to walk through the show, and if you have something to offer that you saw of interest at any of these booths, please go ahead and let us know what you have to say. I will try to work this and the comments. So folks, I'll try to get to your comments and pop them up here as quickly as I can. but it might be a little slower than usual. So, all right. So, guys, do you see the same? Do you see us along the left side of the screen in the same order as I do? I see me and Trey, Honza, Tim, and Pat, and there's Jascha. Is that the same way you see him?
Yes.
That's
Guys
my
see him the
order,
same? Okay. So I think we'll try to go in that order in general if we can, so I don't have to keep trying to call on everybody as we go. And let's start out with Velomobile World. I will just say that we had a nice chat with Jan there, who gave us an extensive look at the bulk, which you can see. Let me see here. This page. There we go. You can see right here. This is his personal one. This is a sensation there, and he's got the ambassador program going here in the States, and he's working on a couple other places as well to get these out into the public so everyone can see them. A fascinating look that we had there, and we have that interview. Who else has anything to say about Velomobile World?
I was very impressed with just the fit and finish, how everything's improved in Velomobiles in general, I have to say. They've not been sitting idle during COVID, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Jascha, are you with us? Can you hear us?
I can hear it totally good.
Okay, good. Glad that you're with us. Was there anything you wanted to say about Velomobile World?
Yeah, definitely. It was a great possibility to see all the different types of the alpha models. When you go on the left-hand side, you see the Alpha 9.2, which is one of the biggest ones of the series, and on the second right, you have the on the right you have the M9, then the Alpha 7, and then the W9. And so it was great to compare every of these alpha models. And personally for me, because I'm also interested in one of these, it was a great opportunity to have a look how I fit in an M9 or W9. So it was a great thing that this exhibition was there. So yeah.
Good. Anyone else?
I like the bulk
I
because it would fit better.
You wish that it would fit you better?
No, I said I like the bulk because the concept is it fits larger Americans better.
okay, but could you ride it? No.
Could I? I didn't hear you.
I think
whether
Honza means could you fit in it, Trey?
Yeah, could you ride it? No,
I think I'd be at the upper limit, I think.
Yeah. No, it was the first time for Velomobile World in the show, in the Spezi show, like displaying all the models they produced. I think that the only drawback is that basically there was none Velomobile producer letting people ride one of their bikes, which is, I can understand they are afraid of people damaging them, or being maybe some of the models wouldn't fit on the test track. But yeah, I told to Jan that I really think that if they want to have more people riding Velomobiles, they should use the shows as an opportunity to for people to really ride it somehow, maybe. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more, Honza. I mean, really, that's what people want to do when they go to these shows. They want to see stuff, but they certainly want to get their feet and hands on the vehicle and ride it around at least a little bit. So, all right, guys. If that's it, we're going to move along here. Anybody have anything to say about Roll-Off? There's a little booth here. We didn't really have a chance to talk to them. Anybody have anything to say about Roll-Off?
It's always fun to see the inside of a Roll-Off. Just
No doubt.
Yeah.
There's and that's what we had. Right, I guess that's about all you had there. I don't know what else they showed. How about Busch and Mueller? Anything there?
Well, they have kind of nice. They are always developing new functions and products. latest mostly for the electric bikes. But you really, if you have any needs, you really have to look at the webpage and talk to maybe somebody who is better informed.
Mhm. They had an interesting light there for upright bikes that was on an electronic gimbal, and it would stay level as you tilted. I thought that was interesting.
All right. Yeah, Pat, especially for some of these accessory things, we're going to really count on you. So, all right, let me say a little about Golo and Light. We talked. Yeah. So yeah, we did have a chance to do a little interview here, and Leo Vischer is the Light. He says a Light to call it a Light, even though it's a lift, I think. And yeah, so the couple of interesting things for me, mostly revolved around this Bike 2 pedal generator system that I've been on about, just because I find it interesting. So Leo has purchased that technology and is going to try to continue to develop it. Right now they have Golo, which has these cargo bikes that you see here, and that sort of thing, has put a Bike 2 pedal generator on their system, which we got to try out and look at. So that is a system where you just pedal, puts energy in the system. There's a battery and a motor, not connected by chain, less maintenance, but you know, who knows whether or not that's going to end up being practical. It's all prototyping right now. So first of all, as to the pedal generating system, you guys have any thoughts on that? And then we'll go on to the rest of the stuff.
I didn't get to try it. I really wanted to, but didn't work out.
Yeah, there are always, you know, the only one I have tried was the one in pod bike, yes, which was working a bit strange. Still, there are some issues they have to solve. Definitely, the Golo was one of the most visible vehicles on the test track. Tested quite a lot. People were sitting in it, as passengers. So there were one pilot, let's say, and 4 other people sitting in the cargo space, riding around. So that was really one of the most visible vehicles there. But they still have a version with chain as well, I think, or do they? I think so.
I think they certainly do, Honza. Yeah. I think we talked to what's the gentleman's name from Golo? He's whatever. He said that this was a prototype, and he liked the system, but I think they certainly do have the chain that you can see over here system as well. Jim, our buddy Jim Pratt, who was the drone pilot for our Spezi trip, which reminds me, Trey, we're going to need to pop up that. I didn't even thank my crew here yet. We'll do that in a second. Jim says that he tried the Golo, apparently. He found it stable, versatile, and smooth, which the key to it is you want to make sure that the pedal feel, like if you're pedaling with the chain, feels the same, even though it's not connected to the back wheels. That's what the ideal is for the folks I've talked to anyway. So
yeah, you don't want it mushy.
Right. You don't want to just feel like you're spinning your pedals and it goes wherever it wants to, or however it wants to go. So, all right. Well, we probably spent enough time on that. Let's, I know, Pat, I saw you here talking to Leo. Let me, see, this is what happens. So, all right, folks, the tour is now over. No, we'll get back here. Yeah. So, yeah, you had a chance to talk to Leo, and what were your thoughts about some? He also makes wheels, and
I learned all kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was surprised how many of the Velomobiles at the show had the Elite wheels on it. the plastic molded wheels.
Yeah, so they're all molded, and he has like arching in them to do like a
You
little
clear
bit
the
of
brakes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he
So what-
can do a motor with motors. He does a lot of them for the cargo bikes, different cargo bikes, usually the quads, the four-wheelers, and he developed some new ones that are even stronger. So I think I would bet it is getting the major part of his business at the moment.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay.
He and I mostly chatted about production and making things.
Right, which you have in common. I don't know why I keep going to the test track here. Apparently, I like the test track. All right, so anybody, this is an interesting, the Veloxeter. Anybody, I don't know anything about this. Did you guys know anything about this?
Nope.
I saw it, but
Yeah, okay. Let's move along then. So
Yeah,
next,
just,
go ahead.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like the Sunrider. I don't
Yeah.
know a lot about it, but it looks like it has some parts of the Sunrider, definitely.
Okay. Jascha?
Maybe
All right.
someone
Well,
knows
here's
about
some
it later more.
velomobiles we do know a little bit more about, and it's inner city bikes, and they had the DF, and he's got the new is it the XL?
Tuna.
No, it's the Tuna.
The Tuna. Sorry, yep,
The
that's
Tuna.
right. That's right. So yeah, go ahead, and who wants to talk about that?
Well, I will jump in. And the Tuna on the left-hand side has the new enclosed wheel cases. This comes with new 16-inch wheels now, so it is a step down from 20 to 16-inch. And yeah, I saw on the weekend at the GLT, a big meeting of the velomobiles, I saw one of the Tunas on the riding, and yeah, it went through the roads like I did with the FXL. So it seems to work pretty fine, and yeah, they have also optimized the seating, so you can position the seat quickly to adapt to other persons. This is one
does
of
it
the
does it
two major
does it
things.
have a tighter turning radius with the 16-inch wheels?
I don't think so, because as far as I understood, they have the same steering radius, but they have now the ability to close the wheel case to make it more aerodynamic. So, but I think when you open it, you could maybe have a little bit less turning angle there.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah,
Move
I
along.
think you should.
Go ahead, Honza.
You should show a bit more to the right, the super drive, the wheel with the delayer there. That's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Oh, that's
piece
very
of the,
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can I
very
get
interesting
closer? There
piece
we
of
go,
the
maybe.
technology.
Yeah.
The super drive is developed for the mountain bikes by one guy. The main thing is, especially for the mountain bikes, that there is not a long cage. So they basically separated the shift, the delayer itself, the shifting function from the tensioning function. Then the tensioning function for the chain is somewhere else. Here you can see it for the velomobiles, where they have a very little space in the shell and round. So they have moved the tensioning to the front underneath the pedals
Underneath
and
the seat,
crankset, where there is enough space in the velomobile. And the advantage is that it also works as an chain adjuster, so you can change the position for the rider, the rider's position, or the position of the pedals for the rider's height, and you don't need to shorten the chain or make it longer. So this is one system. It was working there. I have a video of that, so we'll show it later somewhere. Yeah.
I don't remember what the gear ratio was. Do you remember, Honza? It's pretty wide.
Yeah, I think they can. Well, the cassette, you see, the cassette would be here, like could be over 50 teeth for sure.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
It's
Yeah, I
really
thought it was
wide.
like 5
and-
to 1. Yeah.
Yeah, and they can do it like virtually any wide they want or need or have the cassette for.
Mhm.
Okay. Also, while we're on this shot, Ventissit was there as well with all of their amazing seat cushions. I don't know that there was anything new there. Was there anything? Because we didn't actually talk. So, all right.
Don't know.
All right. So, and then of course, there's a nice big display here from Schwabe, and we had a chance to talk to them as well. Lots of tires there. A couple things that he showed us that were appropriate for recumbents, but
And he had new tires for cargo bikes, I think.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And then they talked about the recycling aspect, how they recycle a ton of material and add it.
yeah, that was getting to be a big thing with them to make it more sustainable for the rubber that they use, which I thought was a great idea.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, they were doing considerable amount is recyclable material going into their new tires.
Mhm. Okay. Anything else there, guys? Let's move along. So here's Acura. Anything to say? They have a couple of Velomobiles. I didn't really talk to them. So let's move along. What do we got here? Flux also with their usual thing. I didn't see anything new there. Now, let's see here. Here is Zox Bikes. Again, nothing there that I saw. You guys just chime in if you find anything else. Now, this was an interesting booth. The Scrambler and the hand cycles. Trey, you had something I think you wanted to.
On these?
Yeah. Did you?
No, I just thought it was a neat design, you know, and not as expensive as some of the other hand cycles we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend that lives in Vicksburg. He rides a hand cycle. He's a disabled vet, but he's got one of the really custom carbon fiber, titanium, all that good stuff. But this seems to be able to, you know, the one you're showing right there was the one that was capable of doing trails. It was, you know, suspension and all that. It was designed to be more robust and handle rough terrain.
Off-road hand bike. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And let's see. Next, we're talking about. I think Sun was actually next.
Yep. Sun was next.
So when they took the picture here, there were none of his displays, but I think we can go right here and at least show some. We spent some time with them talking about their manufacturing processes and how they do things. Trey, you wanted to talk a little bit about what they do?
I was just really impressed with the attention to detail and the quality. I've never used dynamos because we just don't tour long distance right now. We use battery lights that are sufficient, but it definitely made me want to check into these more. And the way you can repair them, they're just, you know, it's not buy and throw away when it breaks. It's buy and it lasts for life. You just
Right. I was very impressed with how it was made, the machining and the design. There's some very clever things about how they basically pump any moisture back out if it gets in the hub and stuff. And that was extremely clever. I'd never seen inside one before.
Yeah, that was very, very impressive.
Right. But as a machinist, it was like, yeah, this is good. It's good stuff.
Good. All right. That's the machinist angle. And speaking of angles, we'll take an angle here to velomobile.nl. And this, of course, was about the Snook L, the larger version. Everybody was talking about the Snook, the smaller Velomobile, which they claim is the fastest out there. And I think they hope to make the L something like that. And yeah, we talked to Teo, and he was able to lift it up easily with one hand and show us what they had here. Teo's a big guy, you know, so, but still, it was quite impressive, and they're beautiful.
Yeah. Having had a Quest, it was impressive to see him pick it up like that.
Yeah,
was.
definitely. Especially when you think it has also alloy rear and not a carbon rear like the Alpha Alpha, and the Snook L has enormous amount of space inside. So I was really surprised how much space you have inside, and yeah, that's really a good thing.
Good. All right. Okay, here there's Giovanni, our Italian friend. Trey and I had a chance to spend some time with him in Italy while we were there, and he's got a shop called Heretic. And hello, Giovanni. We're glad you're watching today. He builds and races velomobiles, and his family races them as well. So, very interesting guy. So, all right, let's. I have our break here, but we're moving along pretty well. Let's go in here, and then we'll take a break in a little bit. So next is an Italian company called Zerabike, and we got a nice view of this. This is a tilting trike. Now, we have talked a lot about tilting trikes on this show, and the AR3 in a small amount of production, but I think these guys, one of the few that we see out there that actually want to do more production, larger numbers with a tilting trike. So very interesting, and we'll see how they do. Any other thoughts on Zerabike and the tilting trike, guys?
I thought it
I
looked very
want,
interesting. I didn't get a chance to ride it, but
yeah, I wonder whether there was any Spezi in the history without a tilting trike on display. There is always somebody showing
trying it.
them 1 or 2 or 3 years, then they disappear, then somebody else is offering or showing something different approach. So it's a lot of talking and discussion around tilting trikes, but there is not really a one product that would carry on for a longer period of time, say.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right, Honza. We see it. It's a lot of interest. I mean, it's a really interesting technology, and also at Spezi, we saw, as I can think offhand, 2 other tilting trikes. There was a tilting trike built by the Swiss club that was raced, and then in the inventors lab, a guy had a front wheel. No, it was a leaning steered tilting trike kind of thing that he had. So yeah, they're always popping up. But in terms of production, yeah, I've never. I don't know. I mean,
I think it'd
I
be
still
cool
have people
because
talking to me about coming on the show with other ideas, but I don't know if we'll ever see one go into production of serious nature.
it would be cool because I like the Delta configuration because it's so maneuverable, but it's also very top, tipsy.
Right, right.
Most of them sit up higher, so the leaning function takes some of that risk out. You can handle higher speeds or whatever, so you get the best of both worlds. If they can keep it going.
Right. Yeah. Manage the transition between tilting and not tilting.
Right. And this one
That's
seemed to be, it seemed to be pretty cool the way they had it done. So.
Yeah, they did a good job on it. They were serious, so we will see.
Yep.
All right, Jascha, this is, I forgot to have you show, you had a picture of this.
Yes.
I think Go 1, is that what this is? Let me.
No, that's the Evo R. From
The Evo R, that's right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
produced
Velomobile
by-
in Hessen, this thing.
Yes.
Do you still have that picture handy that
Of
you could share?
course.
Or
I can share my.
and maybe you can,
screen.
because when they came, it was available. I got a shot of it actually somewhere, but when they took these pictures, it was covered over.
Yeah,
It was Saturday evening when everybody was on a party. They were capturing the show.
And that's when these were taken. That's right, Honza. When
Yep.
everybody was out singing, dancing, and drinking, somebody was still working. Jascha, I'm going to go ahead and add that. There you go.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jascha. Go ahead and tell us about what you know about this.
Yeah, originally the Evo R was built by base in Strehlen in Germany, and it is in Germany. It's a quite famous Velomobile because it is one of a kind in its era. You have the big screen, the big windshield in front, and without the roof, it makes a real great cabrier feeling when you cruise down the road in the summer. So it's quite famous, and a lot of people were disappointed when it was not built anymore. And Axel Knaus from Velomobile in Hessen, he decided to take over, and he's now producing the Evo R with a lot of new inventions, and he put a lot of effort and thoughts in it to make it a modern and sustainable good Velomobile.
Good. Good. All right, guys. I think maybe we will call this maybe the halfway point, and go to our intermission interview here. Before we do that, let's go ahead, Larry, and pop up the crew picture here. I didn't get a chance to thank my crew at Spezi. Actually, Lisa, Trey's wife there, and Marilyn, my wife. There's Trey and me, and Alva, who is not actually on our crew, but he insisted on taking a picture with us, and Jim, of course, our drone operator, instrumental to our coverage of Spezi. So thanks to all these wonderful people who made it possible, did all the hard work that you guys are seeing today and will see in our playlist for our Spezi interviews that are coming on now. Now let's, Larry, if you are ready, I think bring up Denny here shortly. Denny and I worked on a quick interview with Sandy Earl. And Denny, let me get Denny on there. There we go. Oops, sorry. Yeah. There we go.
I'm here.
And hey, Denny. So yeah, we had a chance to talk to Sandy. Who the notable thing about her, she's the only recumbent going to be racing in RAAM this year, and I think everything else you probably talked to her about. So Larry, if you're ready to go, let's hear from Sandy.
Today I'm talking with Sandy Earl, aka Red Pearl Racing. Sandy is a longtime endurance racer, RAAM crew chief, and sometimes RAAM official who lives in Arcata, California. This year, she challenges the Race Across America solo event. Sandy, it's great to see you.
Well, thanks, Denny. Good to be here.
Well, the race is just a short time away. Are you getting very excited about it?
Oh, yeah. Excited kind of undersells it. I mean, I'm excited. I'm honored. I'm grateful. I mean, not many people get this opportunity, even once. So I'm super excited.
I'm envious. I really am. This is not your first time doing RAAM. Tell us about your involvement in the race. What got you here the first time?
Well, so I qualified for RAAM back in the last century in 1999. At that time, I didn't think much about RAAM. I just wanted to do Furnace Creek to do it. So it's like, I qualified for the world's toughest bicycle race. I was just cruising through Death Valley for a couple of days, and there you are. But then it kind of grew on me, and eventually it just keeps growing in your mind, and you had to go for it. That first go around was in 2002, 21 years ago. And I really didn't know what I was doing or what I was getting into, but we still made it about 1,000 miles. And since then, I've raced RAAM, crewed RAAM, raced RAW, crewed RAW, and I've also officiated. And all of those experiences really helped me kind of study the race and get ready for this attempt.
Well, you certainly have a lot of background, a lot of experience in it. We know that for a fact. So why Race Across America? What would make someone want to do this event, especially at your age?
Oh, now my age is classified, Denny. I'm turning 60 this year. And RAAM's a huge challenge. And I just, I think in some very, very real way, humans are just hardwired to crave that challenge, and when I try to, people ask me all the time, it's like, I tell them what I'm going to do and they just get like, why? Right? But, the way I've explained it to them is, look at it this way. Somewhere out there in some field in Kansas, some dude is working his butt off to grow the world's biggest pumpkin. Right? Why? Because he can. And what's he doing right now? He's researching. How much do I feed my pumpkin? How much water does it need? What's the best temperature for my pumpkin? How much of the rest of the vine do I have to prune away so that what's left is this amazing thing? That's what I'm doing. I'm feeding, I'm watering, I'm pruning, I'm nurturing. Just different quest. And it's my quest. And I just can't answer it any better than that. It's exactly what I want to do, exactly when I want to be doing it. Then like I said, I'm just super excited.
Excellent.
And and I don't, people ask me, I'm a grandma, I got 4 grandkids. So I'm no spring chicken. Can you do it? And I'm like, probably. This is the age where my brain has come together where I can really wrap it around it and just do this in a straightforward way. And so this is when I'm doing it. So I'm choosing not to think about the idea that, my body is not as fast as it was 20 years ago. I just know my brain's better.
Well, what sort of preparation have you done physically and mentally for this whole thing?
Well, the big thing that I've done is I've hired a coach. And I've been working with Kelly Moylan for about 4 years. And, just having somebody support you and guide your training, I've become fitter, I've become stronger. She's helped me a lot with strength. But it's just also helped me set my mindset. You have to go into RAAM feeling unbreakable and knowing that it's wrong, knowing that you will get broken down. You have to, both of those things have to be equally true. And so I've spent a lot of time analyzing successful RAAMs, failure, successful races of mine, things that have gone bad, things that have gone well. And so I've got a solid mental, rational understanding of what I need to do. And then the last piece of the puzzle, which is a hard one, is to just let go of all of that and trust my crew. When things get really tough and really bleak out there, when they will, I just have to trust that they're going to keep me on track.
Well, that leads us right into the next question. What about your crew? What about their preparation and what it takes to support to do the race?
Oh, I have scored an amazing cast of characters for crew. People who watch this podcast are going to recognize some of the names. Phil Plath is my crew chief. Phil's been on the record-setting 2-person and 4-person recumbent teams. He's also crewed a number of solo and team RAAMs and RAAs. Alan Johnson is my assistant chief. He was on Dennis Johnson's 2014 crew. And he's also raced solo, or not solo, but team RAAM. And I've got Tim Woodenberg in my corner. Tim used to hold the overall solo recumbent RAAM record until he crewed Dennis's 2014 and pushed Dennis until he broke Tim's record. And I'll have Bill, my partner, and my daughter Nancy. We've got 8 crew. All of them have crewed before. We came off a 24-hour training event in March. That was good preparation for the crew. We had really challenging weather, but we got a lot of stuff worked out. We got crew dynamics down. We got to pressure test a lot of things. And we did it at a point where we can still fix, things that we saw that could be better. So I mean, I cannot say enough about this crew and everybody who's come out to help and support. Obviously you can't do RAM without a great crew. So
they're all experienced. You have assembled
yeah.
who's who, I think, especially in the recumbent world. So now, what bike will you be riding?
So I'm going to be riding Schlitter Freestyles. I've got one set up for flat speed, and I've got one geared a little bit lower for climbing. So between the two, I've got about like a 600% gear range. Those Freestyles are great. They're like the easiest riding bent I've ever been on. They good handling, just a fun bike to ride. And over 3,000 miles, this is going to be huge just to have a bike that I trust that much.
Now, you've done this race before, and what do you anticipate to be the hardest thing you'll have to overcome?
Whew. Well, I don't know what the hardest thing is going to be this time. I just know there's always going to be hard things, and there will be a lot of them. Last time I raced solo, which was in 2010, the hardest thing for me was riding into elevation. So I've spent a lot of time training specifically to address that. And fatigue and sleep deprivation are usually, I mean, those are some of the hard things, and they keep getting harder as the race goes on. I crew chiefed in 2021, and it was real clear to me, it's like just the accumulated fatigue by the time we got to that last day. Super, super, super hard. So that's something that my crew will be keeping on top of for me.
Yeah, that was quite a finish in 2021. There wasn't a lot of time left.
No, we were sweating bullets.
Now, fundraising can be a big part of this event. Are you raising funds for any organization?
Yeah, I am. I am raising funds for a small nonprofit called Fueled for School. And the reason I'm raising funds for them, well, two reasons. One is that my baby sister's on the board of directors. They provide weekend food for needy kids in Noblesville, Indiana. It's where my sister lives and works. And in my day job, every day I meet people who grew up without being food insecure. They were little kids who went home and they didn't know they're going to get fed. And it's clear to me that if they had been fed, it might have made a difference in how things turned out for them. So, I mean, it's super important.
When you're not doing one of these long events, what's your day job, Sandy?
So I work for the Humboldt County Department of Health and Human Services. And right now I manage a team that does supportive street outreach for mentally ill homeless folks. So what that means is that we go out and we talk to people, we learn about their life situations, we try to find out what they need, what kind of help they would like to have, and we let them know what help is available, and we try to match that up with the ultimate goal of, helping people someday find housing.
How many hours a week are you training, and how many days or years have you been working towards this event?
Oh, well, I mean, on a certain level, I've been working on this event ever since I qualified in 1999, but specifically, I've been working on it for about 3.5 years, ever since I finished the NOCOM, the 1,000-mile race in Texas in 2019. That's when I knew, I had what I needed physically to do it, and it just kind of really reignited the, I wanna part of it for me. So my training hours vary a lot from week to week, depending on what the training focus is. We build and then we taper and then we build again. So my training hours can range widely from 15 to 40 hours in a week, and that 15 is more common, obviously in the 40. But my coach is doing a great job of getting the most out of me that she can in the time that I have working around a real job. That training camp week that I just did in Borrego Springs, obviously more toward the 40-hour end of things, and just really nice to be able to do nothing but focus on riding, eating, recovering, doing it again.
Yeah, I need to ask you about Bill, your significant other. Bill is a seasoned recumbent endurance racer. This has got to help, doesn't it?
Well, now, if Bill was just a seasoned recumbent endurance racer, that'd be a huge help. You'd be right.
Yeah.
But I hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
Bill's so much more than that. He's an ace problem solver. He's a shoulder to lean on. He's got mad mechanical skills that he can apply to pretty much anything. He's a training partner. He's helping me keep things organized and together. And really, he's just an excellent human being. I keep thinking, if I'd met him in some weird alternative universe where I wasn't an endurance cyclist, I'd have still fallen for him. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I thought I'd bring that out.
Yeah.
You guys are dedicated to each other.
Yeah,
You really are.
he's my rock.
How can people follow your race?
So people who want to dot watch or watch my GPS tracker as I go across the United States can follow me at the RAAM website, which is ramrace.org. My crew will be posting to my social media accounts, largely Facebook, when they can. And we're also hoping to get some spot updates to the Ohio RAAM show.
Well, we want to see you in Indianapolis, and we hope to.
No, you will. I'm going to be there.
Sandy, so great to talk to you. I wish you every tailwind that comes along, and I hope it's just a great experience for everybody.
I'm super excited for this race, and I just can't wait to get started.
She is something special, isn't she, Denny?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's a tough lady, and I fully expect to see her in Annapolis in a few weeks.
All right. And so do you have those dates for RAAM? I should have probably looked them up myself.
Oh, golly. I think the 14th.
Middle of June.
Yeah, middle of June, right? I believe it's the 4th. It'll be the second Tuesday, I think, or third Tuesday of it'll go for 2 weeks almost. Start on the 14th, and I think it goes to the 28th or 27th. I wished I looked it up. But,
all right. Well, anyways, that's fine. And folks, I want to encourage you to
June 13th through June 17th.
Thank you, Trey. What a resource that man is. So, I want to encourage the viewers to support Sandy. Like I said, and like she said, and like Daddy said, the only recumbent rider in RAAM this year. Very, very tough. Probably one of the most tough races there are in sports. So, let's support her if she comes through your area. See if you can see her and cheer her on. And we wish Sandy all the best. She was on the Ohio RAAM show. My buddy Lee and Jim run that amazing YouTube channel, and they do a great job over there too. And I know they'll probably search her out when she comes through the western part of Ohio as well.
Yeah, so. the Ohio RAAM shows great presence there in lower Ohio.
Yep.
From all the way across the state, as a matter of fact. So
yep, they do a great job. So Denny, and so do you. You did a great job with the interview. Thank you so much for helping us out on that. And we will see you soon with whatever comes next.
You bet. I truly enjoyed it.
All right. Great. Thank you, Denny. All right, folks. So let's, Larry, you want to bring everyone back up, and I will share the stream here of the Matterport, and we're gonna start out with this contraption right here. I have no idea really. I just saw that and wondered what it was. I don't know if anybody else here knows anything more about this at the Recumbent Bikes booth. Anybody see this and know anything more about it?
No, not really.
Right.
Walked by it, saw it was cool. Everybody, there always had somebody sitting in it. So
Yeah. I mean, let's see here. So like multiple pedals.
yeah, the front seat and the
Front
rear seat
and back.
pedal. I saw that. I think it's just a cool pedal mobile.
Yeah, it's I think more for like events like the beer bike we have in
Yeah.
Germany.
Yeah.
With the
I don't
multiple,
know
yeah.
if you have it in the States, but it's typical to see a lot of people crowded around the table and pedaling in summer. So
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Well, we thought we would share that with you guys. Let's move along to Verabike. Let's get around the corner here. Now, we really did want to talk to the people at Verabike, and we ran out of time, but they have very interesting line of bikes that are, you can make them hand cycles, hand and foot powered cycles, trikes of all sorts, modular kind of build. Very interesting. Anybody else have anything? Did they see more on with Verabike? Anybody else have something?
not this year, but in 2019, I think it was. They were also at the Spezi in Germersheim, and I did a test ride on one of their uprights, and yeah, it was at first moments kind of crazy to pedal both on the legs and on the arms, but it's yeah, a really nice workout, and I think it has definitely its use cases, so it makes kind of fun.
Right.
Yeah, they have a new system of the trike was a new like a new project or new version, let's say, and the drive from the hand hand arms, hand cranks was hidden in the frame inside. So that's the new development. So you don't see the drive from the
from the
cranks.
outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a feature for your face, I think, definitely. When you hit an obstacle or so, that you don't push your face into some tooth of your bicycle. So.
All right. All right, let's move along. And just wanted to mention that our old friend Hardy, who used to run Spezi, was there. He was part of the opening ceremonies. He cut the ribbon and such. He also had a little booth where he was selling some of the merchandise from previous Spezis, and shirts and cups and all kinds of other things. And it was really, we didn't have a chance to spend too much time with Hardy, but it was nice to see him and talk with him briefly. Anybody else have a chance to talk to Hardy? Honza, did you see him?
Yeah, I met him. I had a nice conversation with him. He told me or told us that he has a new business in Germersheim. He has a cargo bike and he's doing in-house repairs of bicycles in-house, where you can order him and he would come to your house, repair your bike.
Yeah, it was a mobile bicycle repair.
Yes,
right.
Yes, and he really likes it. So he was happy to talk about it. He really looked happy, and he also liked the show itself. So I think it was, the show was great, and he saw it, and he really liked it. So no regret, I think, from his side.
No, I think it was time, and yeah, I agree. He seemed very happy, which was great to see. He's a great guy. So, all right, and Tromvello, makers of all kinds of accessories, also flags and such, were there. Didn't have we talked to the lady there briefly. Trey and I did, but anything to say about Tromvello, fellas?
They seem pretty nice, pretty decent built.
Yeah, the European version of all the nice US flags, or yeah,
Right.
high quality stuff.
Tim, did you have something? Looked like you were about to say something.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to her for a little bit, and she's very, very interesting. They're very much like the flags from T-Cycle. I think they use the same manufacturer or the same process, but they can be customized. I thought that was pretty cool. And they're like they said, it's a really good material. Good
Okay.
build.
The next I think was, let's see where we're going to come through here. And I think Padilio maybe, is that right here? Yeah. So we talked to these folks at the last Spezi. We didn't have a chance to talk to them here. Another light electric vehicle. I don't know much about what's going on with them. They were not the hit light electric vehicle of the show. We're going to talk about them in a minute. I'd have to say that was the Quad Velo. Anybody have a chance to talk to Padilio and know anything about it?
Yes, I did. They have a next run of of the vehicles produced. I think 10 of them for the customers. I wrote it. The steering is very very interesting. The way it steers, the handle's nice. I would say that you could see them quite often on the test track as well, but only, if I remember, only one was available for test riding. The other one was sitting in the stand. That was the major difference from the Quad Velo, where they had 6 of them or so for test rides. For sure, together with the Quad Velo, this was 2 vehicles that I wanted to ride the most before the show, and I rode them both. And the difference, people don't want to call them, some people don't want to call them velomobiles, but many people were riding them and could experience the feel and so on and so forth. So I think in the future also the guys making the standard velomobiles should think about the way they do the promotion, and because they will need to compete with those as well.
That's a very good point. And as far as the comparison, you rode them both, so not necessarily the ride, but so clearly they talk about the solar power on the top, which I can't believe really adds too much to the power system, but it's nice that it's there. Also, it's so much more open than the Quad Velo which is a totally enclosed, more velomobile-like system, I would say. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, well, the solar panel it does not really help you in time you need it. It charges the battery. So I think for a commute like I do, 12 miles one way, let's say this can be enough to be completely self-sufficient, or you don't need to charge the vehicle at all in average days, I would say. But I think Quad Velo has that feature as well, or they plan to have it sooner or later.
Okay.
And then the Quad Velo also has another seat, at least for a small child or so, or bigger cargo, and it's enclosed completely. But the fact that it is enclosed, it can get moisture inside. I don't know how. You would need to have more experience with that. It's also more difficult to get on and off the bike, but at the end, I like the Quad Velo a bit more, also because the cargo capacity is bigger there than here, and so on and so forth.
Okay, well, that gives us a nice background here. for the Padilio. We'll move along here, and when we get to the quad velo, we'll bring that back. So good. All right, I'm going to go right here. We were in this, let's see, we were in this zone here, and we're going to go, I think, right here. Let's see. Yeah, that's exactly where I wanted to be. Going to Katanga that finishes off that side. We're going to come over here to Katanga, where our pal Stefan was able to show us lots of stuff. The Wow Velomobiles, of course, that they do. They're now developed the Quad Pony 4 in a lot of different configurations, cargo and trailer they've added, and kid carrier they have. We have all that on our video from our interview that we show. So lots of cool stuff from Katanga, another Czech Republic company. What else, guys? What did you see at Katanga that interested you?
I like the Pony 4s.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Trey.
Oh yeah, I love those. Well built, lots of possibilities. Unique.
The Pony 4 is definitely showing the direction where the, let's say, part of the recumbent market will go in the future. I bet. Also, the cargo capacity is a big piece of that. They can have the trailer now attached to the Pony 4 to have even larger capacity. The standard Pony 4 with the kid carrier, you can have 2 kids in the back. You still sit in the very comfortable position. You are stable enough. So the big difference between the quad and the trike is that the fourth wheel gives you additional needed stability. So the seat can be higher. You can sit higher. You can have a better visibility together with the motor. It is, something what we will see more, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, and Stefan continues to do a lot of development with it, so he's a good guy. All right.
We rode all of them, so they were nice.
We did. And I guess a good point here to mention, if I haven't already, when we went to the Czech Republic, we stopped in at Katanga and shot a bunch of video there of their facility and got a nice tour, as well as down the road at Azub, where Honza hosted us, and we got a chance to see everything that goes on. Well, probably not quite everything that goes on at Azub, but almost everything. And Honza was a tremendous host, and we have lots of video to show you eventually of those, and we will have those out probably in the coming week. So, all right, next,
Gary, can I ask you to look back? Let's say
of
on
course,
the wall behind you.
The mural
behind you. So the pictures here were made by kids from the school in Lauchringen. The nice thing, the interesting thing is that the hall will be teared down in a couple of years, if I know it right. So it is basically the only purpose of it for now is the Spezi show 2023, 2024, maybe even 2025. So they could decorate it as they wanted. So there were pictures like this all around the place. They even made a hole for the test track in the wall where the hole was not there when I was there in December last year. So just a little interesting part.
That is, I had no idea that. So they do plan to tear it down
and move it to another hall in that factory,
in the facility.
It's already, everything is agreed with the Lauchringen City Council. So that's the plan. But
that is good to know. Thank you, Honza. Yeah, I did not know that. All right. So our friend Daniela, who has the Aero Tilt, we've talked to him before on the show. Another tilt. I forgot it when we were talking about tilting trikes. How could I forget Danielle? So again, nothing that's in major production, but he makes the aero tilt. He also makes the, I don't think we have a shot of it here, but he has the tilting mechanism itself. That might be it right there, that he sells separately. He sold some of those as well for folks who want to put together a tilting trike setup. And so anyways, he's an amazing builder and pays a lot of attention to detail. He was on the solar trip also a couple of times, I think, where he put together the solar panels to help assist him as well. And yeah, he's a fascinating guy and interesting to talk to. Anybody else have anything on the tilting mechanism with the aero tilt?
It was pretty cool, especially the mechanism that he sells separate.
Yeah, that's really the thing that he develops and sells. So, all right, right across the way here, we have the Aquacon booth. This guy, who I call the Commodore, very interesting. He's a naval engineer, and he has come up with, I don't know, he must have 1,000 different ideas that he's implemented as far as waterborne craft and such. But the one, of course, of great interest to us is this right here, which is the Aqua Trike. And if you look carefully, you might notice, I don't know if you could be able to see it in this picture, this is a wild one, a Stein trike. And he has adapted it with flotation devices that are removable and more flotation in the back and a prop, so that he can actually be amphibious with this vehicle. And just an amazing setup. So these little flotation devices pop off and fit onto the back here for when he is on terrestrial ground, which most ground is terrestrial. Yeah, so it works out really well, and he's able to maneuver, and then he can go, of course, on lakes and that sort of thing. And Trey, he also told us the story about his sales to Ukraine, right? What was that story?
So apparently a lot of the bridges have been bombed out. So he sold a bunch of these, and that's how they get across the rivers now.
Yeah. He told us people will go to work because there's no bridges over there, or many of them are gone, that became a very practical solution for that. So anyways, a very interesting guy. They're from Austria, I guess in the Vienna area. He invited us to come and see him, which I wish we would have had time to do that. So anybody else have any comments on this? All right. So much for the Commodore. Let's see, where are we going next here? All right, let's go here to see Velowork, the Milan, and such. Is Jascha still with us? Yeah, Jascha, you're here. You might want to. Do you want to have something to say about the Milan?
Yeah, you can see on the left-hand side the normal Milan, and on the right-hand side there's the bigger Milan, the 4.2, which is which was also on the Spezi in Germersheim visible, and it can. There's one guy pedaling, and on the back you have enough space for a passenger, for an adult passenger. So, but I think there are only 4 produced in the last years, and they are really rare on the street.
Yeah, Larry Varney and I sat in one in a previous Spezi, and I was in that back seat, so it was a little tight, but it worked out. It's a beautiful velomobile.
Yeah. But what you can see also, the events of the last years took in the 2 velomobiles here, like the Nakaduke, and so it's good to see that inventions are also keep up on the 4.2 model.
Right. Okay. Anything else? Let's then move along. I guess Bambook, we didn't have a chance to talk to them this year. Anybody talk to Bambook or have anything to say? The big robust tandems and such. Okay. And then there's this company that no one seems to have heard of called HP Velotechnik. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, everyone knows HP, and they had a very impressive booth. If I were to say the two most impressive booths that were there, it would be HP's and AZUB's, which we're going to see here shortly. And yeah, for HP, they had many models, both bikes and trikes, to show. And yeah, anybody want to talk about that, Trey? You were with me the time.
Yeah, they had pretty much all of their models,
and they had the biggest booth on the show. So they had another booth or stand just close by for test rides. So the test riding bikes and trikes were somewhere else. Of course, the biggest item for them is still the hand bike adapter for some of their trikes, and at the moment the Speed Machine S pedelec version for up to 45 kilometers per hour or 30 miles. So yeah,
very nice. Okay, anything else on HP? If not, we will move along down the aisle here to one of our other sponsors, and that is Radical Design. Bert and Cairo were there, and this was their first time at a Spezi, and they showed off their bags, of course, always innovating there. They have good quality products, and they talked a bit about the seats that they make for many trike manufacturers. They do the fabric and cushioning, right? Isn't that what it is, Honza? They do the fabric and cushioning part of the seats.
Yeah, they do the ice trikes seats, the HP Velo, the AZUBs as well. So, and then the bags for recumbents, they also have some other products like the trailers and whatever other types of bags for Bromptons and so on, so forth. Very good quality, high quality products, very well designed. So yeah.
Yep, I have a set of their bags on the Arrows. They're really good.
All right.
And also they're making, of course, for Velomobiles bags, and they are nearly everywhere to see when you see a Velomod.
Very popular. Oh, there's one of their sewing machines they brought.
Yeah.
So,
and it's a nice family, like the new ownership. It's a really nice family.
Couldn't
nice
agree
people
more.
to talk to. Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. So then if we move along here to the far wall, we hit Future Bike. This is a Swiss bike club that has been in existence for, what did he say, Trey, since the 20s or 30s? Something like that.
Yeah, decades.
Yeah, so they had a large display, little waiting area here, and they had some gear to give out, and a number of bikes from the individuals in the club. The 441 here, Charles Henry has designed an interesting velomobile, and some of the other bikes, historical ones that have raced. This is a tilting trike. We talked to that gentleman, and velomobiles and streamliners, as you see here, bikes with rear fairings.
Some very smart people.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Honza.
I was surprised how the 441 is small, like the quad velomobile, how compact it is, how nicely made it is. So yeah, I really liked that one.
Yeah, he has put a lot of thought into that velomobile. We had an extensive talk with him, very extensive, which we will at some point post as well. So yeah, it's an interesting place, an interesting group. They seem to do very well. Now, another interesting place here is the Inventors Lab. This is a concept that Hardy started, I believe, the last year of his Spezi, where they had a tent with people that had innovations they wanted to show off, not necessarily for production. And so there was an area here and across the hall here, across the aisle here. And let you look here. We interviewed a couple of these people as well. And you can see the kind of designs that they have. Innovated wooden pedals, always nice to have. And then this guy, this is that tilting bike steered with
steered with your legs.
Yep, steer with your legs and articulating right here in the middle. Very interesting concept. He put those. And then a rowing bike this guy was showing off over here. And this was something kind of interesting. Let me see if I can back off a little bit and get a better shot here. This is an inflatable helmet. And we had some people trying this out. So it folds down, as you can, here, let's see if I get a little closer. It folds down into a little packet. And then when you need it, you just kind of blow it up and stick it on your head. So I don't know about how safe that is. I don't know if they've done testing on it. Anybody know anything about these guys? Anybody wear one? Anybody
Lisa,
like
it? She wanted to try one on because, you know, when we travel, that'd make it a heck of a lot easier than, because helmets take up a ton of space.
If they work, there's no doubt that this is a very practical solution to having a helmet with you for sure. So it's kind of interesting. And then I'm not sure, I had a little video of these guys, or this guy over here. This contraption.
Yeah, that was unique.
Belt driven. Yeah, go ahead, Trey.
No, I was just it's interesting to see the different ideas that people come up with for similar problems everybody has.
Yeah,
I really don't know what this one was trying to solve, but it was really unique in the way they built it with the belt drive and the articulating back, I think, if I remember right.
Is this chair really part of the thing, or are he just sitting down on that?
I talked to him briefly. The chair or something, whatever. They just sat one down there. So
yeah, it looks like I was trying to see if it was strapped in. Oh well, that's nice use of materials in any case. Okay, so
well, you know that we're cycling in Europe, so
okay, very good. All right, so here's a booth that we have already talked a good deal about, Quad Velo. And as you can see, very attractive looking product, first of all. They had numerous colors, fully enclosed velomobile, light electric vehicle, whatever you want to call it. We had a chat with them and showed off the inside and such. And Honza had a chance to ride it, he says. So yeah, Honza, you want to complete your thoughts then on the comparison maybe, or what you thought about the Quad Velo?
Yeah, I really like the Quad Velo. At the moment, it's basically the only one of the new types of velomobiles, the practical ones that are really available. I think they are going to produce a next batch of 20 units, and they got, I think, 18 orders during the Spezi show. So they are basically fully booked. It looks very good. I think it looks much better with the wheel covers. They have like a carbon wheel covers, so you don't see the drum brakes, which are kind of vintage looking thing in the silver version. But yeah, I felt good in it. There are always, you would find things you don't or that could be improved. They use a seat from Aesop, but they use it in a too upright position, so you slide down of the seat, because on Aesop trikes it would need to be much more reclined, but they already have a new seat in the development, which is more suitable for the upright seating position they have. So, and they had, I think, 6 of the tests or 5 of the test vehicles available, and I think 2 or 3 were kind of pre-booked, or you could pre-book or book a ride in it. And when I got in touch with them a few days before the Spezi show, they were basically all booked for all the shows. So there were only 2 other units available for test rides anytime you came. And it was always a long queue of people waiting to test ride this.
The booth was jammed full of people lined up to test ride. Sorry, Trey, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, yeah, the same thing. They always had a line. Lisa and Marilyn were going to try to ride them, but,
didn't get a chance.
You'd have to wait 30 minutes to get a ride.
Daryl Jordan's asking a question we kind of talked about already, and this is a little bit controversial. And Honza's talked about they are velomobiles in some sense. The light electric vehicles are often called as well. I think Honza's point about the reconciliation of the velomobile manufacturers to what's coming with these sorts of vehicles is something that needs to be reckoned with, and I think that's absolutely true. So I don't know. They'll probably have a new name eventually, but yeah. Well, Honza, what do you call them?
I still call them velomobiles, practical velomobiles, let's say. But I have heard one name, so it's because for me the light electric vehicle is mostly cars, but it's by definition it's not true. So somebody called them light electric assisted vehicles, which would be LEAF at the end, which sounds interesting as well.
Might be a good way to go.
We in a German form, when you look there in a German velomobile form, you have a subform called velocars, and I think it's more to describe what you see, because you see a much uprighted position of the rider. It's a seat position. Like in a car, you have the viewpoint, and you have a cabin like in a small car, and you have a big windscreen and everything else, which makes it more like that. So in Germany, I often more hear the word velocar for these kind of vehicles. And I also written. I also written them, and of course, at first it was a little bit new, and of course there has to be done some improvements in the next years. But I think they definitely touched the market. I mean, you saw it by the amount of people who waited, as you said, 45 to 1 hour just to ride one of these, and the basic vehicle, the foundation of the vehicle is also built by or invented by a German company, and so they are producing together the Quadvelo. And it's a quite interesting kind of feeling when you ride it, because of the 4 wheels and of the high position. And it's also enclosed, but not fully enclosed. You can get some air from the front, where your feet are at the front wheels. You have a hole, and there comes air into it, and so you keep also cold in summer.
Yeah, Honza, were you going to add something to that, or?
Well, there were, some people were afraid if it's called velocar that the regulations would sooner or later move them out of the cycle path, which would be not good, at least for those that can ride the maximum speed of 25 kilometers per hour or so, which is allowed on the. But whatever, that's the name thing, which we can spend hours discussing it here.
Right.
Pedal car,
All right.
velo car seems appropriate for me as well.
All right. And Jascha, you mentioned something about a German collaboration. I know the company itself is
Yeah,
Belgian,
Velomo
I
is
believe.
the
Aren't they Belgian?
Velomo is the company's name. They are seated in middle Germany, and they built the first four wheels, and they, together with the company of Quadvelo, they built together everything and sort everything out.
Okay, so Quad Velo maybe is the Belgian company, and then the Velomo is who they're working with, and that's
Quadvelo
the
is
German.
Hungarian.
Is that right?
No. Quad Velo or Euro Circuit, the Hungarian company is originally a Belgium one, and it has a
Okay.
Belgium.
Yeah, the guy
Belgium
told us.
Belgium owner. Luke is from Belgium. They have a factory in Hungary,
Okay.
making circuits for computers or whatever, and the velomobiles are their side projects in a way, and they collaborate with the Velomo, mostly on the suspension design, which is basically the same as on the Pony 4, which is also built together with the Velomo. So you can see Velomo in quite some interesting products going on at the moment. So not only in the Quad Velo, but they do cooperate with Stefan as well. So they are like the owner of Quad Velo is a lot into development and making interesting new stuff.
Yeah, the spokes guy who talked to us said that it was the owner, the Quad Velo owner's, like, not just side project, like a hobby. Actually, he just kind of thought it was a cute project, and then it turned into something much more right now. So,
yes.
All right, we probably don't need to belabor that, but that was a great discussion on a Quad Velo that I think we'll keep our eyes on. And guys, I think you're going to see more on that in the future. So let's move on down now to this beautiful booth, actually both sides of the aisle. I like this side a little better. What is that, a dartboard? I didn't even notice the dartboard, Honza. So this is this is
that was
the
there
Aza
only. That was there only in the Saturday night when
that's
two
why I
of
didn't
our
see
guys
it. Right.
were playing their darts.
All right.
there.
They didn't put your picture up on there and throw darts at it, Honza, did they? I don't know if they would do that while you were gone, but probably not. All right. So we probably aren't going to get Honza to say too much here about the Aza booth. I'll say that it was my vote for the most beautiful booth. They're better, the most interestingly designed. I know it cost them a lot of money. He told me that. I didn't expect to hear that answer. And anyways, I think they did really well. On this side, of course, they stashed a bunch of their other bikes and trikes. And one of the different, more interesting things to me, the Honza talked about, was this gravel bike with the interesting carbon fiber leaf type front fork suspension, among other things. And whoa, I just went right through it. So there's the backside of it. That was
you see
crazy.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
That the Matterport or Matterport, they really went through all the show. They had to, one would expect that they go only the aisles, but they really went into the booth.
If I do this, that means that they were back here behind your booth looking to see what you were keeping under there and everything.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It is amazing technology. We thank them again for doing this. All right. Who else? Tim, maybe you can step in here. You have something to say about what you saw at Aza that was of interest?
Well, I think they have a really great line of trikes and bikes. And, a lot of manufacturers don't focus on bikes as much anymore. But I think there's an enthusiastic group of people who are looking for bikes. And I was intrigued by their design with the two large wheels instead of a large rear wheel and a smaller front wheel. They look good. It looks like just a really good good quality bike.
Trey, did you want to say anything about the gravel bike? Because I know that's
Oh,
something.
I thought it was cool. The you know, using Recumbents, we usually lag behind, you know, the regular bike world a little bit, just because I don't know, but that's really cool because you're seeing that in. I have a lot of friends that ride gravel now, and they're riding regular diamond frame. So I've been looking for something to ride gravel with, and this so far this looks like one of the best options I've seen as far as a two-wheel bike. And that's what I don't want a trike. I want a two-wheel bike.
And we do have a nice interview with Honza on the tie fly and this gravel bike that I guess I just posted a couple of days ago that you'll see on the playlist. So you might want to look at that. And Honza, so I won't ask you about your products, but maybe I'll ask you to chime in on your experience as an exhibitor at this Spezi. If you could briefly tell us, how do you think they did as an exhibitor compared to previous years and as first time Spezi owners?
It was great. I think there were some issues, but little ones. There were not enough dust bins or things like that. But from the very beginning, they were talking to us as exhibitors the appropriate way, the way we were ordering the booth or ordering exhibitors tickets or whatever what other things we needed were solved quickly. The venue was at the end was good. I have already expressed so many times how I liked the venue, and so I believe that there will be way more people coming next year, and we will see visitors, and we will see how they will be able to handle it. We already think about having a bigger booth there next year, having more trikes and bikes for a test rides, and because we had 15 of them available, and there were times when all of them were gone on the test tracks, so we need more. Same with I have to say it was the same at the CycleCon in October in the US. So I really like to see both of the shows moving on in, I would say, even better in better way than they were before. So we can really see a step ahead, which is good.
Yeah, and I have to say that from all the other exhibitors I talked to, they're pretty much in agreement with you there. So, all right, this might have been Trey's favorite booth. Trey, this is kind of intriguing. Tell us about what you saw here.
So we've been trying to find a way to camp. We're getting over the whole tent thing. Like to be up off the ground, a little more comfort. If it rains, you have a little seating area there. So when we walk by here, it's called the Bee Turtle, and it's completely enclosed, lightweight, self-supporting camper. And it's the way they've gotten the lighter weight is they use those. You see the gray there. That's an inflatable bladder, for lack of a better description, that serves as a support to hold the trailer up. And there is a lot of room in that camper. And I think it weighed, if I remember right, it was like 29 kilograms, which is roughly 60 something pounds. But it was just really cool. And he said he sold a couple to the States, but not for bicycle riders. They sold the top portion to motorcycle riders who put it on a trailer that could handle highway speeds. Because when you look at the running gear for that particular one, it's bicycle tires, and it's meant to be behind the e-bike or a trike or something along those lines. But it was really, really sharp.
Very good. All right. Let's move on here down the road to Honza, I believe. There we go. All right. So unfortunately, they had all the bikes and trikes stashed into a pile here when they took the picture, but it was a beautiful display. They did a really good job all over here. We saw the Pinot, which is always great, the Kettwiesel and the Tretz, and had a nice interview with Kirsten talking all about their latest there. They do a wonderful job at Honza and have great bikes and trikes. And I know Trey's a fan of them and has Kettwiesel.
Rides a Kettwiesel. She loves it. It's of course we have one of most these days, but she does like it for sure.
Good. Tim, did you have a chance to see some of their stuff there? Anything you saw of particular note?
I think one of the most impressive things was if you're in the outdoor test track area, they had constantly had a chain of Honzas rolling around with about 6 people pedaling all at once. So that was impressive to watch. I'm not sure how practical it would be for a regular trip, but it's certainly impressive to see.
Yeah, that was certainly the most impressive thing on the test track when they got a group of the 6 or 7 of those together with the Honza flags flying. It was very impressive. We had a picture of that in our slideshow actually. So yeah, fun stuff there. All right. Anything else Honza wise?
It is basically the biggest company out in the displaying out of all exhibitors. And what was nice to see was Marek Haze, the founder, owner of Haze Bikes, taking care of the customers outside. So I saw him, talking to customers, giving them the opportunity to ride one of their bikes. So it is still nice to see, the guys, the owners, really taking part at the exhibition and taking care of the customers. Not only Haze, of course, HP Velo and all the others, but it was nice to see him there.
Yeah, good point. Good point. All right, so we're going to finish up here with, here's some more of these murals. Oh, and Franz, one of the Wolf and Wolf guys, mentioned to me that if I'm not mistaken, he said this sculpture, this clock sculpture with these big chain ring type things, really was cool, was made by somebody from Roloff. I think that's what you told me.
It's Florian Schlumpf.
Schlumpf. That's what.
Yeah,
yes.
Schlumpf Drive. So Schlumpf Drive is now produced in Germany or in Lauchringen, basically in the venue. I don't know why they were not exhibiting at the show, but Florian Schlumpf this is what he's making right now. Not only this one, but those huge sculptures, watches, whatever, how you would call clocks,
it. Yeah.
It's extremely expensive stuff.
And more of the murals that you talked about as well are on the other wall. Beautifully done. And then this is the Wolf and Wolf area. They built a scaffolding here where they had a platform where, some of the ceremonies were held and you could go up there and sit. And then,
so originally this wooden thing should be a booth of Wolf and Wolf for the Spezi show in Germany, in Germersheim in 2020, when it was cancelled for the first time. So they built the booth and they couldn't use it. So it was standing there in the hall for three more years, and now they use it as an info center.
An info center right next to their actual booth, which was very modest, compared to everyone else. They were lucky they had any time to man the booth. They were so busy with Spezi. They did an amazing job. And here are the Wolf and Wolf offerings that you see. We had a nice chat with, it was Florian at the time, We talked to him about some of their new motorized versions and what they're hiding some of the cabling internally and stuff. They're working on that all the time, but they had a big job. And Trey, could you pop up that or Larry? There we go. I wanted to certainly not finish this show without thanking these amazing guys, Franz and Gabriel, and then Florian on the right, who just worked their butts off for months on a very short time scale to put together what even Honza agrees it was a very good show, not just a first time attempt. So very happy to have worked with these fellas who warmly greeted us and helped us to cover the show. So congratulations to Wolf and Wolf, and we look forward to seeing what they come up with again next year. So let's see here, guys. I guess we'll just see about any final thoughts on Spezi before we finish up here. Thank you all very much for sharing your previous thoughts here. I thought it was a wonderful show. I thought they did a great job. I'm looking forward to going back again next year and see how they continue with it. Great crowds, interested crowds. We had trouble keeping them out of the way while we were shooting, like we always do. So that's just something that happens, and we're glad to see all those folks. Trey, I know you had a good time. What did you think?
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. I'm completely impressed, and you could tell they'd worked hard. They were tired. They were. At the end, I'm surprised they were still standing, but they've done a ton in such a short amount of time. Very well organized. Of course, there's growing pains with anything, especially the first time. So, but like Honza said, that I can't find anything that they did wrong.
Good. And yeah. Tim, as a visitor and as a dealer of the bikes and trikes that you saw there, what was your experience in general?
I mean, I thought it was great to see all the stuff that's new or different from manufacturers that I'm not familiar with that, we wouldn't see at the US show. Also, I got to say, I was impressed by for the first year at a new venue, how easily everything moved in and out. The transportation was easy. We can get trains and buses, and they move people around very effectively. And the food was really good. So that was a big plus over the US show. The food was much better.
Good point, Tim. I was hoping you would say that. Jascha, what was your thoughts of the show?
Well, it was a great experience to see the Spezi in a new way, and I'm really looking forward to the future in Lauchingen for the Spezi, and it was really good organized, and especially for ones like me who cycled there and arrived by bicycle. We had secure parking lots now, and this was really, really good organized.
Thank you, Jascha. And Honza, I will give you the final word. So you've already pretty much given us your summary. I guess looking to the future, you already said you're looking forward. You're already thinking about expanding what you do. You have high hopes for the Spezi now?
Yes. Yeah. What my question to you would be whether you have had a chance to ride on the extended test track, which went to the outside of the venue. I didn't, I had so much to do that I couldn't try it. So not only that the test track went through the hall and around the halls, but there was an extended version under special conditions. Visitors could go outside and test road the bikes and trikes and quads outside much, to get even better feel of the bike on a longer ride with some serious uphill. So that is something what we haven't seen before as well, and which was great. So I would have few points here and there for improvements, but at the end it was a great show. Yeah. I really
Yep.
like it.
All right. So the answer to your question, I'm going to let Trey answer because he and I sort of did. Trey, what did we do?
Yeah, we rode one of the cargo bikes up the extended trail. We rode about halfway up that long, very steep hill.
Yeah.
It was e-assisted. Don't give me that much credit. I was pedaling up the hill. Trey was hanging on for dear life behind me on the cargo. Was that the one with the trailer, right?
Yep.
You were on the
trailer.
Yeah. So it was quite a sight, I'm sure, watching us go up that hill. And then down the hill, we were flying. So what do I care? I was sitting in the seat and I was secure. It was just Trey, my cameraman, behind me. So, what could happen?
Like a little girl.
Yeah. It was great. We had great fun. And yes, the test tracks were amazing. We didn't get a chance to go much further than that, but a lot of folks did. So it was a tremendous Spezi, folks. As you can obviously tell, we're all going on and on about it. So we're gonna finish that part up now. So let me thank my wonderful panel here and Pat Franz, who had a little heating issue on his iPhone on the road there. Well, we appreciate him joining us earlier. And Tim and Jascha and Honza, thank you so much for sharing all your thoughts with us. I think it made it special. It was great seeing you guys all at Spezi. So with that, let me thank the sponsors of this webcast, and we'll get towards the end here. First of all, speaking of Pat Franz, it is TerraCycle. Great parts make great rides. Are you slow and inefficient like a sloth on a tadpole trike? TerraCycle's power and gearing upgrades will turn you into a speed demon, or at least make you feel like you're going faster than the snail that just passed you. And Trailside Trikes. If you find yourself in Florida, near the Withlacoochee Trail, or in Knoxville, Tennessee, check out Andrew's shop and amazing crew. And TerraTrike and Greenspeed Trikes. Your vision, whatever it is, TerraTrike has a trike to take you there. And Greenspeed cutting-edge designs create performance through Aussie ingenuity. And Laidback Cycles, the top USA dealer for TerraTrike and the premier source for CatTrike, Ice, and Greenspeed. We give you the freedom to ride. And Avenue Trikes. With the gearing you need and the comfort you want, it's time to enjoy riding again. They're in stock, ready to ship, and only $19.95. Dealer inquiries are welcome. And AZUB. In addition to the titanium suspension, another technological gem brought to you by AZUB is an optional folding mechanism. It is not only easy to operate, but works great and looks fantastic. And Recumbent PDX, CatTrike's West Coast Megastore. Schedule your test ride on trikes with pedal assist electric from both Bosch and Bafang, roll-off and schlumpf components, and adaptive builds. Experience the joy of CatTrike. And Eco Cycles. Adding e-assist to your bent can be a daunting task. With total focus on customer service, the experts at EcoCycles make this upgrade simple and worry-free. Check out EcoCycles today. All right, guys. So just lastly, to let you know, we are continuing to edit and publish our video interviews from all the booths that we visited at Spezi. And we've got 10 or 12 of them up there. Trey, do we still have... We don't have that shot anymore. Well, so if you go to the Laidback Bike Report, there we go, YouTube channel, and you will find a playlist of our Spezi videos that I am posting about one a day at this point. We will have another week or 10 days, I think, of those. And then I will assemble one massive video with all of these videos in it and include a lot of bonus material, our drone shots and the test track shots we have from the drone as well, and some lower shots of the test track, some crowd shots, outtakes, all kinds of interesting stuff we'll put into that one big video. So you'll see that coming up in the coming weeks. Our next laid back bike report, that's going to be June 11th, 3 weeks from today, 2 p.m. Eastern, as always, working on some interesting topics for that right now. How can you support the laid back bike report, you might be asking, we hope. Well, you can like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and you can click the little white eye up there, head to our website where you can find lots more about us, including how you can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1 a month. All right, guys, who's left on the show here? Let me do our final thanks and goodbye. Yeah, I guess we can stop sharing. There we go. Denny, thanks for that nice interview again. And Larry, good job on the directing as always. Trey, I'm always throwing crazy stuff at Trey at the last minute. Thanks for helping out. Trey is also hosting InnerTube right now. John Hopkins is visiting you on his Mississippi tour.
Yep, he's actually out playing a home house concert right now.
Good. So you guys might want to follow InnerTuba on Facebook and see how he's doing. And with that, also remember that Sylvia Halpern has completed her trip across the country and now is turning around and heading west because that's what she does. Amazing work there, Sylvia. We wish you the best as well. Tim, thanks a lot for joining us today. We appreciate always having you with us. And Jascha, it was a nice surprise to be able to have you to share your thoughts from Germany. And Honza, as always, you know, you're the best, pal. I don't know what to say. We look forward to sharing that video that we shot with you. It is amazing. So, all right, guys. With that, I'm going to sign off by thanking all of you for watching as you do every month. We really appreciate that. So, until our next webcast, from all of us here at the Laid Back Bike Report, so long, Bent Riders.